The paws are all mine now.
That's how we begin. We begin with dogs tonight. Hello and welcome to Final Boss Fight. My name is Jeff, and we are back with more Brindlewood Bay. I am joined by, as ever, our magnificent group of the Murder Maven Mystery Club. We have the Dark Lord Richard.
Hello.
Stanza Scale.
Hello.
Complete with Squiddy Crowny. That's pretty awesome. I love that. Sarah.
Hi.
And Robin.
Hello.
And as I said, we are back with more Brindlewood Bay. So before we get into the credits, let's run around and do the little like cozy vignettes, do the little like starter scenes. So who would like to go first with that? A little starter scene for your character. Who shall I pick on? I'll pick on Richard because you've got to do the creepy bit as well with yours.
Okay, so my cozy vignette is Livia reading about the Civil War and planning her next Civil War reenactment. When it gets to like pictures in the book, like portraits of Oliver Cromwell, Charles I, whatnot, like they all become like these really creepy sort of figures that move a little, but then when she looks back at them, it's all like back to being normal.
I like it. It's just like out the corner of her eye, they just like move, and then when she looks at them, Stanza, do you want to go with yours with Myrtle?
Just wondering. So, like, if there's if there's a local gardener who keeps a physic garden, and so Myrtle goes to visit them to get herbs for her herbalism hobby.
Yeah, I like that. Just like walking back with like a basket of like various herbs and things. I like that.
And some of them smell very nice.
And some of them don't.
Don't sniff those.
Robin?
Probably just going around like the local supermarket or shop, chatting to people and finding fresh ingredients to try out on new recipes.
Does Birdie carry her frying pan with her to the shop?
Oh yes, it goes everywhere. Like in a little holster on her belt.
Sarah,
I can imagine. I wonder if you had some interesting conversations with your spouse about that.
in the game or actually?
I mean, I meant in the game.
He's still allowed to use a frying pan at home. Definitely. He was not banned from that. Otherwise, I'll be honest with you, Ellen, we've got bigger issues. What with a pretendency for cannibalistic stuff, characters.
Oh dear. And Sarah for Rose.
So Rose has, as one of her items in her cozy little place, a cat/book trolley left over from when she was a librarian. So this is all kinds of like mischief with clearing it out and then finding that Myrtle and Birdie are both on it somehow and shooing them off.
I like that. That's great. Well, with no further ado, let's roll the opening credits for this week's episode of Brindlewood Bay.
It's a beautiful day in Brindlewood Bay. The murder mavens are on the case, solving mysteries, we're serving up cake. And it's a beautiful day in Brindlewood Bay. It's a beautiful day in Brindlewood Bay.
It is a beautiful day in Brindlewood Bay. In fact, once again, it's a beautiful evening in Brindlewood Bay because this is a special occasion. It is the evening, the night of the fundraising drive at the Brindlewood Bay Whaling Museum and Education Centre. And this year, all the stops have been this year, the owner, George Pollard, has pulled out all the stops. He's invited anyone who is anyone, like all the upstanding pillars, all the rich and famous, well, the relatively rich and famous, because this is just like a small coastal town, have come to join, come to give generously for various reasons, get raffle tickets, bragging rights onto who donates the most. Some of them give generously because it makes their taxes easier. The Wedding Museum itself is a more humble building than its name would suggest. It's a building. It's a fairly well-sized building at the end of the road with it has a sea view, but the sea view is from the car park. There's almost no windows in the building because they say that they want to keep light from damaging the exhibits, but really it's because it's an old building and they didn't want the expense of making windows in it. Over the entrance, there's a large blue banner that reads, and you had to groan at the pun for this, "Welcome to our fundraiser."
Fish puns are a well-established tradition.
So, I think because the rich and famous, or the relatively rich and famous, are there, I think, Livy, you've specifically been invited, but knowing your character like I think I do, I think it's fair to say you hate everybody else who's there. Would that be fair to say?
Yes. And
So-
puns.
Yeah. So in order to make the evening more tolerable, you've invited your friends, your fellow mavens, along with you. So, but one of you, whether in secret or openly, gives yearly to the Whaling Museum. Who would that be? Who would make yearly donations? Myrtle gives yearly donations to the Whaling Museum. Anonymously, or do you put your name on it?
I don't. Not anonymously. I don't know.
You put your name on your donation. Yep. Okay. That's
Yeah.
absolutely fine.
Be proud of it, Myrtle. Own your contribution.
Yes.
As you're there, I'll give you the layout of the Whaling Museum because there would be like a map in the reception, quite easy enough. The Whaling Museum consists of several rooms. There's the museum lobby, which is where one enters, and attached to that is a gift shop, because you've got to have a gift shop. It's a museum. You've got to have a gift. The first big room you come to once you go through the lobby is what they call the whale room, and this has been painted to look like the bottom of the sea, and there's all pictures of the whaling ships, photos of the whaling ships, or one particular whaling ship, the Deep Reaver, and hanging from the top of the ceiling is a giant whale skeleton. Off to one side of that, there is the screening room, which is a small auditorium that has these hard seats that you sometimes get, hard plastic seats. There's a half-hour educational video about the history of whaling in Brindlewood Bay. On the other side, there's the Scrimshaw exhibit. Scrimshaw is little bones that have been whittled into various little pieces of artwork by sailors on the voyages, and it's all these arrays display boxes of all these different shapes and different shapes, different styles, different art pieces of the Scrimshaw. Everybody in the fundraiser is moving around, milling around. You see a waiter with a glass of glasses of champagne, cheapest stuff they could find.
What is about to happen? Just making sure I get that Maven moving.
Well, the fundraiser itself is actually about to come to an end. The night has been going on. It's been whether or not you like whaling or you like fishing or you like the sea in general, it's either been fairly interesting or extremely boring. Perhaps one of you does see an interactive display in one part of the lobby, which has a visual history of daily life of sailors on the Deep Reaver whaling ship. Does anybody remember the significance of that?
Was that the thing that came up with the history we found last time?
Yep.
Yeah, it was the stuff that found the black oil.
Was some wee creature they found out they got at the sea or something?
That's the one. Yep.
And Brindlewood Bay was founded from the sale of it or something, was it? Or
Yep. And like this, pretty much this whole museum is dedicated, like from that ship onto that ship.
oh, and I'm guessing the why of the fundraiser about to come into the end is A, it's been a long night, and 2, there's about to be a crime.
See if you're right. We'll see if you're right. You're
Well,
putting your
I mean, like if your reason is too high, you can also ask why is it about to happen.
Yep.
I was going to say, before it does come to an end, Birdie would be in the bit with all the little bits of art and just rearranging them all.
Well, if you're in there, there's all like these little bit, fish, mermaids, sailors, little ships. But when you're in there, when you rearrange them, I'll do this one now. There's one smaller display case that the contents of it are different to the others. This one is not like the others. What do you think would be different about this case? About the contents on this case?
It's all land animals.
Land animals. Okay. Yeah. Why would I say there'd be like making things of land animals like proper like elephants, like giraffes, that sort of thing, like all different types?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Why would a sailor be making that? Interesting. But the fundraiser does indeed come to an end, and most of the party goers do filter out, do like make their way home or to the nearest restaurant or to the nearest pub in various states of sobriety. There are some left behind, and again, Olivia would know each of these by name, and it's like you're forced to be very polite to them when you see them normally, or in functions like this. You see George Pollard, the museum owner. He's busy milling around. He wears a tuxedo, but it's not his. You know enough to know that he can't afford a tuxedo. This is a rental job. He's got like combed over hair. He mops his brow. He's like seems to be very anxious, possibly like hoping that the museum raises enough money. There's the curator, Dr. Catherine Burko. She's like walks around wearing specs. Seems to be avoiding large crowds. You see another man, an older man. Oh, this is an amazing name, Cornelius Absalom. And he's just like basically like he's the sort of person who like throws around his money everywhere. In fact, as you watch him, he makes a show of like writing a grandiose check for a large amount of money and gives it to like George Pollard. You see two people who seem to be very similarly dressed with similar like coloured red hair. One of them is Audrey Nickerson, and the other one name is Edgar Nickerson. And you know that they're students at the in a nearby college, nearby university, or the nearest university. There's another older man wearing a corduroy jacket and a blue bow tie. This is Professor Schwartz, who is who teaches history at Brindlewood Bay Community College, maritime history specifically. And you see another young man. He's got like mussed hair, but he seems to like hanging around the edges of the general party. And you look at him, he like steals glances at Edgar from time to time. It's almost like he's trying to summon up the courage to go speak to him, but then like doesn't, like backs down at the last minute. Does anybody you'd like to talk to at this stage? Anybody catch your fancy?
Rose wants to go and talk to the curator. So I'm thinking because Rose used to work in the library, at times like she's put on sort of history displays and community engagement things, and may have like had involvement. I can't remember what she's called.
Dr. Catherine Burko, that would be, yep.
Might have involved Dr. Burko sort of in those and might have a bit of a relationship with her.
Well, you know in that case that Dr. Burko is an expert on 19th century whaling. But you also know that she's way overqualified for her current position in the whaling museum. But she sees you. Oh, Rose, my dear. I do hope you're enjoying the evening. I hope it hasn't been too boring for you.
Oh, Dr. Burko, it's a triumph as ever. I like what you've done with some of those displays, just modernising, neatening them up a little bit. But
Oh yeah, I've got to move with the times, you know. Got to keep the money rolling in. Got to attract the new generation.
absolutely, I completely agree. Have you got any thoughts of what you're wanting to do next with the museum? You do have some space here.
We do,
And I know-
yes. Sorry,
I
carry
know
on.
your talents. I know your talents mean that you should be able to further this a little bit.
Well, as you know, whaling is no longer a industry now. It's all about fishing in the North Sea. But I do have some ideas about how we can like look at the progression, like the movement from whaling and how it like started to die out. How like modern history, like more modern methods of importing came to be. I hope it'll be somewhat useful for the future generations to know.
I'm sure it will be. It's such an interesting period of history to go and work on. But you're looking a bit peaky, my dear. Are you well?
It's been a long night, I'm afraid. I tell you, I'd be just happy to like spend this in my office. But George over there, indicating the owner, he insists that I put in an appearance. Apparently, he gives the well, I suppose we call them whales, don't we? That's the modern parlance for people with lots of money willing to spend it. It's I don't agree with myself, but it gives them something to look at, somebody to speak to. It gives them some sort of confidence that their money is being well spent.
It must have been a very trying evening for you, my dear.
Oh, it is, yes. I've probably retire soon myself. But yes, it's very nice to see you, and I hope we can get in contact again about one of your other library exhibitions. That'd be really nice.
Oh, I'd be delighted to still work. You know, I do like to keep my hand in a little bit. And especially with these youngsters. I mean, isn't it promising that those two over there?
Oh, you mean Edgar and Audrey? Yes. Yes, it's good to see them. They come here quite a lot. They're regulars here. Very often, you see them almost all the time. When they're not at the university studying, they're here making notes or browsing the exhibits. It's heartening to see.
I'm pleased to hear that. Is there anything in particular they're interested in? Just if we're looking at putting something on at the library, maybe we could tap into some of their interests.
They do seem particularly interested in that ship, the Deep Reaver. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Oh, yes, obviously it's such an important vessel for our community in our town. We would not be here without it.
Yes. They keep asking me, like, do I know any more about them, more than what we show in the museum? Is there any more information? But sadly, my own knowledge of it is limited. My knowledge of whaling is more in a general sense rather than that specific ship. But I do think I should probably like do some more research in that direction as well, if it will help them.
Absolutely. It's something that I'm sure will bring funds in, and it's a bit of interest for you to use your talents there as well.
Oh, thank you, my dear. Thank you. The rest of you wishing to speak to anybody, or are you just like watching?
I was curious about the redhead twins.
Are they siblings, twins,
You
married?
could go and ask them.
Go on, Lavinia. First question. Excuse me, what is your relationship?
Well, you go over to them. You go over to them, Audrey and Edgar. And as you get closer, they do seem to be wearing like very similar clothing, like blue clothing, red head. Like no, Audrey has like a flat red bob. Edgar's red hair is like very flat, very flat. If you didn't know, you probably think they would be twins. They do look very similar to each other, but Edgar is trying to show Audrey like some of his notes that he's made, and they look at who's going over to speak to them. Sorry, is it who's going over to speak to them?
I think we both expressed an interest. Should we both go?
Sure.
Myrtle and Livia, you go over there, and they break off from their conversation. They see you coming. Oh, hello. I don't believe we've met. My name's Edgar Nickerson. My name's Audrey Nickerson. Do you have an interest in whaling? Is that why you're here?
No.
I have I have a passion for the sea. Can't make me leave it. Well, not any further than
Oh.
our little town, anyway.
I know what you mean. We've had passions for Wales all our lives. We used to run up and down the beach out nearby, and I tell you, we could pick up seashells, and I tell you, we could hear the whale song in the seashells. Nobody else could hear it. Only we could hear it.
I think that's tinnitus.
Oh wow! I've missed this. I miss doing this. This is great.
Well,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Myrtle thinks it's beautiful. That sounds
Yeah.
beautiful.
So yeah, have you enjoyed your evening? Have you had a good time? Have you learnt anything?
How do I find out if I've learned something? Is
don't
the
know.
land animal sculpture a new exhibit?
Oh, the land animal sculpture in the Scrimshaw exhibition. Yeah, that was only put in last week. I don't get why that's there. It seems a very out of place thing. And Audrey said, Edgar says to Audrey, "I'll be back soon, Audrey. I just need to check on something very quickly." And he like walks out into through one of the doors and disappears for a moment. And Audrey's there with you.
Sorry, is he going outside or is he staying in the museum?
Another room in the museum.
I'm gonna go because I have my Sam Spade ability, or I can go where bloody plays at night.
Okay.
And as long as I don't kick off, no one questions it.
So do you follow him straight away, or are you trying to be subtle about it?
I gave him a moment, and then I just walk off.
So I'll say that you're in the lobby. You're all in the lobby at the moment, and you see him walk out through the lobby into the whale room, and you give him a few moments, just to be just to be discreet, and you start to follow him. And we'll come back to you in a moment. Stanza, anything else you want to ask Audrey?
I think I was gonna ask I mean we know they're students, right? So I think I was gonna ask what they study.
Not quite well. Yes, Wales. No, we study. What do we study? We do study maritime history. Yes. Our family is from around here. Goes back a long way. Almost, I think back to that ship actually.
That is most impressive.
Yeah. Our parents. Well, I tell you, people think that we're twins, but we're not. We're cousins. We just happen to look a lot alike. But yes, I know it comes up so often. Like identical cousins comes up so much. It's unbelievable. In other stories as well. I don't get it, but that's what I've got here. That's what I've got here. So that's what I'm going to work with.
I mean, I've literally met someone who said that they and their sister look very different, but they had a pair of cousins, and it was kind of very similar. The siblings looked different to each other, but each cousin made a set. Kind of thing.
I look very like my oldest cousin, and my little brother looks very like my youngest cousin. It's very strange.
Yeah, Audrey, she said, have you ever been out on the beach in the night time and just listen to the waves coming in? It's very peaceful. There's something about no other sound, just the waves lapping against the shore, and if you listen for it, you can sometimes hear whale song.
I think I did that during the last full moon. Because if you're gonna stand on the beach
why not?
at
Why
night...
wouldn't you? Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Waste the time. It's not the full moon.
And we'll leave you to chatting, making small talk. She likes you. I think she likes you. She senses some sort of kindred spirit in you, I think.
As a player, I like their vague spookiness.
Birdie.
Yes, I was just going to say, he said there was someone else as well, someone who kept looking over towards Edgar. That he didn't give a name of.
I did not give him a name of him, no. And he's looking quite anxiously, you see him looking to where Edgar's by now walked out of the lobby into the waiting room, and this young man looking after him again, wondering whether to follow him or not. But I think when he sees Livia a few moments later start to follow him, he just he backs off a bit and he turns around and goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I nearly bumped into you there.
Yes, my dear. Can I ask your name? Have you enjoyed your evening?
Oh, sorry, of course, yes. My name is Chris Charder. Yes. It's been a very interesting time meeting all these people.
And what brought you to the museum tonight?
I had a friend. I have a friend here who goes to the college nearby, and I was hoping to be able to meet him here. But
Is it the redhead gentleman that's just walked out by any chance? You seem to be paying a lot of attention to him.
I'm going to ask you for a dice roll. We haven't had a body yet, but I'm going to ask you for a dice roll. I'm going to ask you for a meddling move with. I had the things in my head at one point. Presence, meddling move with presence. Yeah.
So I'm wanting to roll 7 or above, aren't I?
It's 7 or above. Yeah. Yep.
5.
His expression changes when you mention the red-headed boy. His expression changes, but you can't really tell what it means. It could mean anything.
I just kind of say, well, it looked like you wanted to go talk to him. I'd advise you go do that because you only live once.
No.
He looks a bit unsure, but he turns away from you. And he looking again at the door where the young man went through. Livia, you're following this boy, this Edgar, through into the well room. When you reach the well room, he's not there. He's gone somewhere else. You hear a crash. I think he might be coming from the scrimshaw room.
Oh, I shall go into the scrimshaw room.
You enter the scrimshaw room, and sprawled out on the floor with a harpoon dug deep into his side, a pool of blood pooling around his body, is Edgar Nickerson.
I shall walk over a bit too casually, considering what's going to happen, and check. Is he alive still? Is he?
He is dead, almost instantly dead. And as you walk around his body, do you want to investigate the room at all? Just looking around the room as you're walking over to him, or you just focus on the body completely?
No. Well, it's quite possible that the murderer could still be here, so I shall investigate the room.
Okay, make me meddling move with presence, please.
And this is 2d6, isn't it?
2d6, yep.
Oh dear, that's very high. With presence, that's 11.
Wow. So you do see, because it's a carpeted floor, a few feet from the body, you see a dent in the carpet, as if something heavy was dropped on it. And you look, and one of the display cases has dropped onto the floor. And the display case is full of land animals, it looks like.
Like the scrimshaw.
The scrimshaw, land animal scrimshaw, yeah. In a whaling museum. Seems out of place, but it looks like it's been dropped on the floor, but then moved, and you can see the dent where it's dropped on the floor.
Right. Could I investigate this display cabinet?
You can, yes. You got an 11, so I'll give you this one. You don't have to. I won't make you roll again for this one. But the case itself is probably about, say, 6 inches deep, probably about 2 foot wide, 1 foot long. It's like a glass display case, so it can open up with a glass lid, and you can see all the animals inside it. You look as to where it was. There's like a gap in the display cases. It looked like it was resting on a trunk, an old trunk.
We shall open the trunk.
You open the trunk. What do you expect to find inside this trunk?
A staircase that goes down, like a very.
Sadly, we had the secret passage last time, so there's no staircase that goes down.
Yeah.
But You do find
Another dead body.
well, you find a set of black robes,
Ooh.
Ooh.
and if you dig through the black robes, you find a white porcelain mask. That looks very familiar.
Ooh.
Does
Yeah.
that robe handily have someone's name tape sewn into it?
Mm.
No, the black robe is actually quite old. It's fraying, and the mask itself looks like it's been very worn with age.
Ooh, that's how old the cult is. Ah!
Where did I see that there? However, as you're looking at this, the door to the scrimshaw room suddenly slams shut.
Oh.
I shall look round. Has anyone came in? Or is it more that they've left? Or
Is the body still there?
Body's still there.
Okay.
The harpoon's still at its side. Door slammed
Just
shut.
like to pull shit up and shut you in.
okay, I shall. Oh, sorry.
No, carry on. Say what you're gonna do. Say what you're gonna.
I will go to the door and open it and see if there's anyone out there.
Door is locked.
Oh no! Damn. Needs a new drink.
Where are the drinks in here?
Is in the scrimshaw room? Is there any windows or other doors? Is this very much just like a dead end type place?
It seems like a dead end. From what you can see, it seems like there's a dead end here. There's like no windows, or at least the windows that there are, that you can't squeeze through them at all. They're just they're almost
Two
like shaped
types
like
of dead ends now.
there's almost like ship portholes, really, like round windows like ship portholes, which would be thematically appropriate, but you wouldn't be able to get through them.
Could I search for any other method someone would have used to get in or out of this room? Like a hidden door? I know you said you wanted to see passages again, but
I'm gonna ask you for a meddling move. Oh no, actually, yeah, I'll give you a meddling move with presence, please. That's your perception, yep.
oh, that's very bad. That's a 4. I'm going to use a crown if that's possible.
To move it up to a 7.
Yes. And is that one of the crown of the queen?
That's up to
You
you.
can pick either.
Pick either. We can pick either one.
I'm going to go for crown of the queen. A flashback of your fondest memory with one of your children. Now it has been well established, Olivia has no children. But she does have many nieces and nephews. And this is a memory of her. Seems to be like in the Swiss Alps. And she's with a niece who's about 12, who has a rifle and is shooting at like targets in like a range. Olivia's watching and giving advice.
Okay, that bumps you up to a 7, which is, you get the clue, but there's a complication to it. There is a curtain along one of the walls, and behind the curtain there is another door, but that door is also locked.
Does Olivia perhaps have like a phone on her? The time period of this is very
I think it's like fairly modern day, so yeah, if you want to have a phone, you can have a phone, yes.
Does it have signal though?
And who do you know who would pick up?
Well,
Philippe, obviously.
Oh, of course.
There's only one number in there.
It's just Philippe.
Philippe.
Well,
it's just a modern bell for a servant device.
So, I'm going to ask you for a night move, because you're in this locked room, you're on your own. You might be getting slightly anxious, irritated. I don't know. Would you be anxious, not being able to get out of this room with a dead body in it?
Potential. I could certainly think of reasons why.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask you for a night move. So this will be 2d6 plus your composure. But before you roll it, what are you afraid will happen if you fail?
That I shall realize the murderer is still in the room.
Damn.
Is that I can change that to something?
No. That's what you said. So yeah, I'm going to say it's worse than that. The murderer is still in the room and is going to attack you.
I haven't rolled yet.
I know. This is what will happen if you fail.
Oh, okay.
No pressure.
That's the threat.
That's 9.
Okay.
That puts you out of the complication bracket into the normal bracket. So there's nobody else in the room, but you're able to phone up quickly. You're able to phone up Philippe, and the room is empty. There's nobody else in the room. I was looking forward to that. I wanted you to fail that one. Damn it.
Yeah,
I'm sure
so-
there'll be opportunities to stab Livia later.
You put the crown of the queen on backwards, and you actually go down a success level.
Philippe will have been relatively nearby, if not perhaps at the party. So hopefully.
I assume Philippe would be there to bring Livia like better quality drinks. So the cheap champagne's there, but like Livia's somehow still going around with like a really strong cocktail of like the finest quality ingredients.
Yeah. But he's like he's it's that thing from the Grand Budapest Hotel. He's present, but he's never seen.
Yes.
He's always there, but you never notice him.
Oh. Sorry. That success level was 7 to 9. So I'm gonna have to retract what I said. So there is somebody there. You're on the phone to Philippe, and he answers. He picks up. What do you say to him?
Oh, hello, Philippe. There's another dead body, and I'm locked in the scrimshaw room of the of that stupid whaling museum. Could you
Gonna have to cut you off there because as you're talking, you do feel a blinding flash of pain on the back of your head,
What?
and you fall to the floor. As you begin to lose consciousness, you see another figure in black robes in the same white mask lean down at you. The midwives of the void will not tolerate any. I had this planned out. The midwives of the void will not tolerate.
Interference? Meddling?
That's it. Interference. Yeah, will not tolerate. I say the midwives of the void will not tolerate any interference. And then your vision goes, and you fall unconscious.
very dramatic. And she's just spilled a drink.
Yep.
Priorities.
The three of you outside obviously have no idea that any of this is going.
We're just having a nice time.
But Philippe comes in looking quite worried, quite flustered, and comes to you, Rose. And do you want to take on Philippe for this, Richard?
Yes. Well, I'm going to say Philippe does not indeed look flustered to most people. People who know him would notice the slight change in his demeanor. And Philippe approaches and says, excuse me, madame, I just received a phone call from Miss Fox. It seems she is in potentially great danger. She told me about a dead body in the scrimshaw room, and then the line went dead. And she's very good telephone etiquette and does not just hang up. So I'm very concerned.
Right, Philippe. Straight, if you can go to the owner of the museum, I'm sure he will have a key to get into the room, but I will head there immediately myself. Keep it together, man. You look a little bit flustered.
I apologize for my
So,
panic state.
so did the phone turn off when it hit the floor, or was the cultist smart enough to turn the phone off before doing the mini monologue?
I think it's just going to be like the impact, so the impact smashed the phone when it hit the floor.
Yeah, so I send Philippe off to go and talk to I can't find what his name is. Pollard.
Right,
go-
Pollock.
Yeah, Pollock. It's fish. To go and get the keys to go and open the room, and Rose goes straight off to try and get in herself.
Okay, you rush to the scrimshaw room. That's a pencil. You rush to the scrimshaw room. You put your hand to the door, and the door opens easily.
Okay. Is there a doorstop or anything handy nearby?
There'll be like there'll be
Other than a dead body.
other than a dead body. Yeah, there'll be like a fire extinguisher nearby that you can like use to prop the door open quite easily.
Yeah, cool. And against all good health and safety, I'm going to keep this obvious fire door open with a fire extinguisher.
Yep. And you enter the room, and the first thing you see is the dead body of Edgar Nickerson on the floor.
Uh-huh.
The next thing you see is Livia Fox on the floor as well, but she's conscious. You can see from where you are that she's still got colour, she's still breathing, but she's just unconscious.
Livia, my dear, and because Rose is really sensible, Rose is going to go and put her straight into the recovery position.
Livia, sorry, carry on.
Yeah. So puts her into the recovery position and is just sort of fussing around. And now, don't move, dear. Just stay where you are. We're going for help. Someone will be here as quick as we can.
Livia, you hear this like muffled voice saying and it gets stronger and stronger as you do come back to consciousness and you open your eyes. However, you do get conditioned from this. You've got a splitting headache.
Splitting headache.
That is going to affect quite a lot of your moves, actually.
Okay. And I'm just gonna say, where's Philippe?
Philippe has gone for help. He thought the door was locked, so I'd gone to send him for.
It was locked.
But my dear, as soon as I went to it, it opened straight away, easily from the outside.
Now, Rose, I don't have the time to explain to you the nature of keys. Okay.
There was not a key in the door.
Yes. Typically, people take the key with them as they go.
But Philippe said he was literally on the phone to you seconds ago. There was no one in the corridor. Actually, I should have checked that. Was there anyone in the corridor on the way up?
No.
No. There was no one there. And he said he was on the phone just a few seconds ago to you.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, Rose, but it was locked, and then I was attacked.
I assume you don't know anything of your killer? It looks like they hit you on the back of the head.
My killer?
I've been waiting for this. Rose is contracting out a killer for Livia. Your attacker.
Attacker. Oh, they were wearing black robes and a mask, and they mentioned the midwives of the void, and they don't like interference. Oh yes, and Edgar's dead.
Oh yes, I noticed that.
By the way.
By the way.
Yes, I noticed that, but there is no point in fussing with someone who is already dead.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? Yeah.
Can we say that, just for purposes, that Birdie and Myrtle have also turned up? Because at the moment, neither of you know that anything's wrong. So would you be following Rose at great speed? Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
As we enter the room, I'm like, Livia did it.
well, I'm just putting together another kind of sachet. So I was literally thinking of some kind of smelling salts to help Livia regain her senses, but now I'm just thinking, okay, maybe something just more soothing. It's not an ice pack; it's a herb pack for your head.
If you give Livia that herb pack, she will throw that herb pack away very dismissively.
Well, it's like I go to pick it back up and say, well, I'll keep it then.
Yes, I'll keep it.
More seriously, Birdie would probably go over to the harpoon.
Yep.
And should probably start sprinkling flour on it, kind of looking for fingerprints.
Okay. Make me a this will be meddling with presence, please.
2.
Yeah.
No, you don't find any fingerprints or anything. Unless you want to use a
Let's
crown
look
of
here. Are
a
you
crown
contaminating
to
the
upgrade
crime
it.
scene again?
Not at all.
Sorry, Jeff.
And I'm not Mill.
No, you're not, are you? Sorry, Birdie.
I think I checked the curtains since like it was mentioned there was an attacker in here, just like where someone might be hiding.
Oh, make me again meddling with presents, please.
Meddling with presents. That's a 7.
Oh, you do find there's a curtain in the back of the room, and there is a door on the curtain. And as you look at the door, be this one, you do see that at the bottom of the door, like where the step is, you can see what looks like part of a footprint with a unusual soul design on it.
What, does it have a question mark on it?
No, it just looks odd to you. Like if you saw it on a shoe, you would know it instantly. That sort of thing.
Livia, are you familiar with shoes?
Yes.
Come on, look at this footprint here then. What do you make of this?
If you will get up and have a look at the footprint.
Still blinding pain from your headache, but yeah, you know like various like types of shoes, like shoes, boots. This looks like a very, very unique pattern, very unique sole. You've not seen one like it before, but again, you feel certain that if you saw it again, you would not recognize it instantly.
Yes, it's certainly a footprint, but I can't offer much more than that.
Most likely you're the attacker. Oh,
Could I point at the trunk and say, there's some robes in there,
Yeah, you can.
and then we all look in the trunk, I'm assuming,
Yep.
and just
Oh, there's no robes in the trunk. The trunk. There are no robes in the trunk. There's no mask in the trunk. However, you do see some papers along the bottom of the trunk with lots of numbers on them.
shall we examine these papers?
Yes.
They appear to be financial reports going back quite a number of years.
Is there anything that says where it's financial reports for?
Oh, for the museum.
For the museum.
Yeah.
Does it seem to be in poor financial health?
It does a bit, yeah. Even with all these fundraisers, even with Myrtle's like yearly loyal donation, and all the others, it does seem to be not doing very well.
Is there any big outlays of money, like really significant quantities?
I'll ask you to make me a roll with that. Another presence roll, please. Give me time to think of something. I'll ask you for a presence roll with that.
5.
You do see like lots of big payments, but the name is smudged out, whether by accident or design, so you can't see who it's going to, but there are definitely like lots of big payments in there.
Does it seem to be the same person or business? I don't know if it was smudged out, but is that?
It's not possible to tell. But
And is it the same amount of money, or does it differ?
Only by a very small amount, but it's roughly like this. It's roughly the same amount. It's like definitely like the same size of payments. Yes.
I wonder if they're donations to the cult.
Well, so I think maybe the donations are not going to the upkeep of this museum. I mean, let's be honest, it's a terrible museum.
How dare you?
But
I
For
keep looking at the whales and thinking they'd make a good meal.
Whale soup.
Birdie, do you do think that about everything?
What
What can I say? I've got a healthy appetite.
So, anything else you'd like to do in this room?
Open the door. As in, like, the curtain door.
That door is definitely locked.
Birdie's going to charge into it, trying to break it open.
Birdie is using her head.
Birdie, make me a night move with vitality, but what are you afraid will happen if you fail?
I'm going to get knocked out.
Okay, it's going to be worse than that. You do get knocked out, but you risk landing on the on the harpoon on the body.
Oh,
bloody hell, Jeff, you've turned this.
You
up.
This is how
you
night
guys are going
moves
straight. You guys are already going straight to the worst case.
Night moves. You have to be more careful with your expectations. Because
7 plus 2 is 9.
So not a problem then. You do smack into the door. The door does fly open, and you trip and land flat outside. On your,
Okay.
you're not unconscious, but you are ow, bit bruised.
Mhm.
Yeah,
pack.
condition bruised. Stop going for the worst case scenario because leave me anything to go to. It's gonna be worst case scenario. Yeah, you will die just like everybody dies.
door opens and there's a dragon. It eats us.
But yeah, as you get up off the floor, pick yourself off the floor, you do see like footprints like seem to be like going away. It'd probably like be snowing at this time thing, so you do like see like footprints walking away. Door.
I think we have a trail, and I start following it.
The trail like just like ends. It doesn't really go. In fact, it looks like it loops round back to the front of the museum.
Okay. I'm going to go in and look to see if anyone's got like snow on their boots.
Interesting.
We have a very, very unique shoe we're on the lookout for. Gesturing at the print itself.
So you're going and a unique shoe. So you're going around into where all the other suspects are. This will be a presence roll, but you are going to be disadvantaged because you just took a tumble. So you need to roll 3 dice and pick the 2 lowest.
Okay. I'll nick one of Sarah's. Presence, that's a 3.
Oof.
You don't see anything. There's like that many. There's still like a number of people around, and they've all come through the snow anyway, so they've all got wet shoes. Really, to be honest.
Has anyone come to help Livia yet from these museum owner or Philippe or?
It probably is about this time that Philippe has finally found the curator, Dr. Burko, and ushered her quickly towards the Scrimshaw room. And obviously Burko sees the body first, and it just stops dead, or almost like faints dead away at the sight of this thing. And she says, "Oh, we've got to call the police. We have to get." I was hoping to not get the police involved with this. This is like the one oasis of peace in my life, and now it's been taken away from me. But we have to get the police involved. Philippe, can you go and find the owner, George George Pollard, and get him to call the police? And I imagine Philippe scampers off to do that. Does he? Or would he look? What would he do? What would he do?
Philippe would say, "I am not leaving Miss Fox's side." I can shout.
Yep. So,
well, Rose then goes up to Dr. Burko and goes, "Well, my dear, don't know whether this will be any consolation for you at all, but the police around here don't appear to be very effective anyway. But I will go and ring them from. Have you got an office phone somewhere?
Yes, my office actually. Just you go back to the main lobby and there's a side door that says staff only. Here's the key for it. Gives you the key for the office. That's my office. It's a staff room, but I'm the only main employee here, so it's my office. There's a telephone on the desk there. You can ring the police from there.
I'll go and.
You
Yeah,
enter. Yep.
I was going to say I'm going to ring the police, but at the same time I'm having a good look round.
Of course,
sort of
I would
papers and things.
expect no less. The staff office. It's divided into a storeroom, so you can see like all these like old exhibits, like things needing restoration, and an office space. There's a desk. There's a water cooler. You see like all a bubble of air bloop in the water cooler. There's a small radio playing classical music, like classic FM. On the desk, you see a telephone. You see a computer, and there's a few drawers as well on the desk.
Oh, I turn the radio off.
Okay.
Like nothing happens turning the radio off, does it?
No, the radio goes off.
It's no longer playing overly intense Wagner.
So as I'm ringing, is the computer on at the moment?
It is on, yes. Looks like Dr. Burko was in the middle of something when Philippe knocked on the door for her.
And so as I'm doing that, what does it look like is on?
It looks like she was in the middle of writing an email. You don't recognise the name who the email was being sent to. She didn't finish it, but it seemed to be somewhat antagonistic in its content. As if there was like some sort of rivalry between her and the recipient.
There's not an email address in the bar, is there?
No, there isn't. She's going to draft it and then send it off afterwards. She didn't want to accidentally send it before it was finished, so she didn't put the email in at first.
I don't want it to be her. I feel really sorry for her.
Could you make me a presence roll, please? Meddling move with presence.
That is a 3.
Do you want to use a crown to bump it?
I do. That's a good idea, Jeff. So I'm going to go with a flashback of your fondest memory of your late partner. And it's showing them not looking at a computer or anything like that, but it is showing them sort of sharing information and like maybe looking at a book together, something like that. Just very companionable.
You look down at the desk. Your eye catches one of the drawers, and one of the drawers is slightly open.
Okay, I open the drawer.
You find 2 things inside, actually. You find a sheaf of papers.
Mm-hmm.
A quick skim of them says, like, it's some sort of, like, maritime historical thesis. And you see at the top it's by Edgar Nickerson.
Mm-hmm.
And you see there's like notes all over it. It's like, some sort of like notes all over it, and some paragraphs have been written in a different handwriting.
Okay.
You also
Does it have-
find... Sorry,
Oh.
carry on.
I was going to say, does it have a title?
Yes, but the title's been crossed out.
Right, okay.
Did you say this was an essay or a report?
A report is like a thesis, basically. It's a thesis. As though some parts have been revised prior to publication, but not in his handwriting, in somebody else's handwriting. You also find in the drawer a red leather book. Very old, looks very old, like bound up with a ribbon, black ribbon.
I'm gonna pocket the book for looking at later. And while I'm on the phone, can I be sort of having a flick through the dissertation? Is there like an abstract which tells me what it's roughly about?
It is, well, rather unsurprisingly, considering where you are, it's about the Deep Reaver.
Hey, that's what I was hoping.
It's just like, it looks to be like the last voyages of the Deep Reaver.
Mm-hmm.
And you do find one quite interesting tidbit in there, which I need to go to the other book for. It concerns one of the survivors of the Deep Reaver, Hale Willoughby, in the summer of 1893. And according to the dissertation, according to Edgar's research, he murdered 13 women and children.
Oh, bloody hell.
He claimed he was simply doing what was promised to them below. Despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary, the jury found him innocent. He was released from jail and allowed to build a shack on the old Stockton farmland, where he lived out the rest of his days in relative peace. During that time, he kept to himself and rarely came to town, though he was said to frequently engage in strange religious rites in the middle of the night.
Did it say, did he have a family or anything? Can't remember if I missed that.
No, it doesn't have a family. He doesn't have a. From what you can see, he didn't have a family. He just murdered everybody else's families.
Oh.
And it was a shack on farmland. Where was it more specific than that? Where's this place?
It's the old Stockton farmland, but whether that's a person's name or an area,
Is there a map in it that goes with it, by any chance?
afraid not. Not with a not with the level of success you got.
Something
no, I'm
to
afraid.
research later, maybe.
Oh, this is a very poorly written dissertation.
Well, it's
Well,
incomplete.
Librarian.
How many maps did your dissertation have in?
None, but would you like to see all the spectroscopy in mine because it was a chemistry one?
Ow.
Because it's not one of maps, is it?
No, but mine wasn't a history one.
And this is where I took this reading, and this is where I took this reading. It's the same place.
No, you just get a lot of spectroscopy that I couldn't read. I don't even know where it is, so sorry, Richard, you'll have to forego that.
I could show you mine, though.
Right, no one wants to see anyone's dissertation.
So you call the police. Let's get to the police call. You call the police, and you are answered not by Detective Inspector Dalrymple, by a Detective Sergeant Cooper.
Has Dalrymple been fired?
Good evening, sir. I'm
Madam,
sorry, are you...
Miss.
Oh,
Miss
I'm
Cooper.
sorry, miss. Are you new?
I've been recently assigned to Brindlewood Bay, yes.
And where is Dalrymple?
He's had to go out of town for a few days for some... He wouldn't tell me the exact reason, some sort of matters elsewhere that came up.
He's not been dismissed then?
As far as I know, he's still a member of the force.
Oh, well, that is disappointing. My name is Rose Peel. I am at the Whaling Museum at the moment, and I'm afraid to report that there has been a murder committed here tonight, and one of my dear friends has been also attacked brutally. We need your assistance as soon as possible.
Fine, I'll be there as soon as I can. The Whaling Museum, you say?
Yes.
I'm still new to the area. Where is that exactly?
Can I give it directions?
Give directions. Yep, that's fine. Yeah.
Would you like me to call the doctor for you to because it seems normally he acts as coroner.
That's yes, Dr. Stern. Yes, that's a good idea. Yes. I don't actually have his number. Dalrymple didn't give me his number.
No, I'm sure he didn't. It sounds well in line with him. And I suppose you didn't think to ask for it either.
I wasn't expecting there to be a murder on my first week.
I suppose I can't argue with that.
There has been murders every other week.
Yeah.
What time span has there been between these murders?
Yeah, like absolutely. Lavinia's not there to criticize, so Rose is absolutely channeling her vibe tonight. Yeah, so I hang up on her. I've given her directions she doesn't need any more, and I ring the doctor.
and as like, no, so you hear her going like, they didn't tell me this place was like Midsummer.
You should have done it. Oh no, well no, I can't say that because I've hung up. Should have done your research first. I think that to myself.
Yep.
Less
That's
flowers, more oily whales.
What is everybody else doing actually while this is going on?
Livia's having a drink. And if possible, if the museum has like a wheelchair that they, might have for like, emergencies or whatever.
Yeah,
she,
disabled access and that sort of thing. Yep.
She doesn't need it whatsoever, but it's just taking the opportunity to be pushed around in a wheelchair.
Keep pushing her around.
That's a Philippe job, is it? I think.
Every job is a Philippe job. He does everything.
Where is he pushing you to?
To confront these people, these potential attackers.
I'm just thinking of going to comfort Audrey.
And who in particular are you going to confront? You're going to speak to Audrey. Who is Livia going to speak to in particular? Because you say potential attackers. Whom?
What she wants to do basically is, now she's in a wheelchair, she wants Philippe to kick the door open and then push her through very quickly. And then dramatically declare that someone attacked her and she will not stand for this, and everyone needs to show her her shoes.
Okay. This all happens, and they're all very like shocked and like, what is this? And some of them are a bit like, some of them like again know you, and it's just Livia, but they do. I'm going to ask you for a day move this time, not a night move, a day move. And what are you afraid will happen if you fail?
They won't go along with it and think she's being silly.
Okay, day move with reason, please. 2d6 with reason.
I don't say, right now, you might all think Livia has been angry in the past. She has never expressed she's never been as her. Now she's angry.
I'm going to have to ask you for a disadvantage as well because you still got your headache. So 3d6, take the two lowest, and add your reason.
Is this what happens when you refuse help?
That's a 5, but I'm going to use another crown.
What's it going to be?
A scene in so Crown of the Queen, a scene in the present day showing a private side of you very few people get to see, and she is you cuts to her house, to what is a music room that no one is aware that she possesses, apart from Philippe, because she's not going to tidy it herself. And she's playing the trumpet. Not well.
Okay.
Not well.
Okay. That bumps you up to the next level. So they all look at you like you're mad, as you may expect. But they do start looking at each other, and one or two of them like come forward, like saying, "Oh, my dear Livia, oh, I'm so sorry. Here, look at my shoes. It wasn't me. I can prove it if you look at my shoes." And they all come and show you their shoes, and you don't see the same tread at all.
Livia's thinking, well, it's potentially none of you, but potentially it's all of you. So I'm not ruling anyone out yet.
Is there a cloakroom anywhere?
I can see where very good. There's like a small area where people can hang up their coats. Yes, it's not really a room as such, more like a closet or a cupboard.
Birdie's gonna go have a look in there, and it's on the trail of these shoes.
Okay. Ooh, is it worth making you do a roll because you're looking for them? No, I'll give you this one. You do find a pair of shoes in there,
Okay.
and it is the same shoes.
Okay. Are they looking? That was the idea, and then I never thought what I was going to do after. Yeah. I'm just gonna kind of
Cinderella.
yeah. I'm gonna use the thingy person. I've forgotten what she's called. Amanda.
Oh, the
Delacourt.
Melanie Delacourt. Yeah.
Oh.
Gold crown move.
Ooh.
Okay, go on then.
This
Thinking about
reminds me of the time where Amanda Delacour was hunting for a murderer out on the hills, and the only clue she had was their footwear.
Okay, what was the name of the mystery? And anybody can join in with this as well.
Soiled Cinderella? This is
No, I
Amanda
like
Delacourt,
it.
Amanda
Yeah, I like
Delacourt and the Soiled Cinderella. I love it. And how did she solve her problem?
She found fabric ripped off another item of clothing attached to the shoes.
So you can.
So I'm going to assume trousers
Okay.
or a skirt.
So are you saying that's the fact you want to be a part of this now? That there is
Yes, I
fabric
think
on the
so.
shoes. Let me just check quickly. Okay, yeah, there is some fabric. There is indeed. You look at this, and there is indeed some fabric trapped in the shoes, like trapped in like the lace hole, as if someone rushed to get the shoes off. It's black. The fabric is black.
Okay. I'll go reconvene with someone else, possibly Myrtle, because Myrtle's not had some time in a while, and just kind of point it out.
Okay.
I've
Mercer.
gotten the glass of water for Audrey, and I'm passing. Well, I mean, like, I've tried to gently break the news to her. So I've got a glass of water and a gentle pat on the shoulder.
She breaks down crying,
Yeah.
as you may expect. She said, "Oh, I can't believe, can't be true. No, I was just speaking to him. You were here. We were just here. No, it
Yes,
can't
he
be."
seemed such a nice gentleman.
And she's just like in tears. But what if people say we looked alike? It could have been me.
I don't know what clues we've been sharing. So
Well,
I don't.
the fact, yeah. So she knows he's
The
dead.
dissertation stuff.
I don't know if you know about that yet. Actually, if I'm honest.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Don't know. You don't know. I don't think you know about that yet because this is like kind of all happening at the same time, or roughly the same time, or it's probably about this time that Rose comes out of the office, with the information that she's learned. But yeah, Audrey is somewhat inconsolable, just like talking about how her and cousin Edgar used to run along the beach, the whale song that they used to hear, that sort of thing. She's very upset.
And no one can take those memories from you.
Is there anywhere I can sit down? And there are some couple of chairs nearby.
Yeah, you mentioned the plastic chairs at some point.
Yes, in the auditorium. Yes.
Hmm.
Do you want to take her into the auditorium?
Sure.
Make me a meddling move with presence. Yes.
Okay, just double checking. 5.
5 is coming up quite a lot today. Do you want to bump it? Do you want to move it up?
I don't know what the.
Thank you very much.
I mean, whilst listening to people putting on the crown, I did have an idea I thought was fun.
Go on. Yep.
It's like, I'm gonna have a flashback of my fondest memory of my late partner. It's like, it's the middle of the night on the deck of a small.
Sorry about that.
All right, so it's on the deck of a small private. I don't know if you'd say boat or ship at night. Myrtle and her partner are dancing across the deck, wobbling a bit after a drink or two.
So, as you're leading Audrey into the auditorium, you sit down on a chair, but you see something trapped under the chair. A keychain, a broken keychain.
Huh.
Okay. You're at 7 clues at the minute that I can count, and this is complexity 7. So from here on in, you can start thinking about theorizing, but you probably might want to get a few more clues before you do so.
Are there any rooms in this place that we've not been in?
You haven't been in the gift shop, and Myrtle's just entered the screening room, but you haven't been in the gift shop yet.
I assume that doesn't count as entering a location.
I think I don't think there's much going to happen in here that hasn't already happened.
Fair enough.
But
Sorry.
go on, Richard.
I was just saying, when Myrtle's finished doing whatever she needs to do about this keychain in the auditorium, I will go into the gift shop.
Okay.
Looking for a replica harpoon that I'm then going to sharpen to use as a weapon.
I think you can easily find a replica harpoon in there. They would sell such things. Probably not full size, but they would sell such things.
I'm sort of imagining like the kids kind of plastic swords or whatever.
Very much so.
But as you're in the gift shop searching for this, I'm not going to make you roll for this. You see a shelf. One of the shelves is completely empty, and you look at the label on it. It looks like it was a shelf of letter openers, like shaped like harpoons.
Damn, that was an even better idea. A whole shelf of them, right? Yeah, they're potentially a dangerous weapon. And I bet they've not even paid for them. Is there anything else perhaps worth searching for in here?
Do you want to try a roll for it?
Yeah. I'll make a
This will be reason for this one.
And am I still at rolling 3? And
Yeah, you're still rolling 3 because you've still got your headache.
That would be. Was it presence? Did you say? Sorry.
Reason.
Reason. Cool. That would be 7.
Okay, yep, that's enough. Yep. There's a bin near the counter. In fact, you're looking around, it's on the other side of the counter. It's obviously for the cashier to put their rubbish in, for various like price tags and things. And you see a pair of disposable gloves that look like they've been stretched to fit a large hand.
And is there any blood on these hands or on these gloves even?
Yeah. Yes, there is.
I shall take the gloves
Mm-hmm.
and then head back to the lobby. And I'm assuming, are we all back in the lobby?
Having pocketed the book, Rose does want to have a little look at that before she goes back as well.
Okay. It's a logbook from the Deep Reaver.
No way.
And you skim through, it's all various whales, coordinates, dates, sizes, that sort of thing. Somebody was sick, somebody touched a whale. But the final entry, the final voyage, details something rather strange. It seems they found some sort of ancient obelisk on the bed of the bay. But there's no record.
Okay.
But there's no record of where it was taken.
Did they say that they moved it or nothing at all?
They pulled it on board,
Right.
but they didn't say. It didn't say what happened to it afterwards.
Okay. Rose is still going to keep the notebook, and she's going to take the dissertation out with her.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, you will all reconvene back in the lobby.
So long as Audrey's safe, I'm just generally worried about Audrey right now.
That's fine. Yep. She's fine. She's just busy weeping into a handkerchief.
As long as she's keeping busy.
Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 9 clues so far. Do you wish to see if you can uncover any more clues, or do you think you got enough for theorizing? These are all very
Rose
disparate
wants to
clues.
go back and talk to the curator again.
Mm-hmm.
And sort of take this information and say, I thought you
Dr.
said
Burko.
you had... Yeah, Dr. Burko. I thought you had no work to be getting on with. This seems like it could be quite fascinating for you, Dr. Burko.
Well, as you approach, you see Dr. Burko is talking to Cornelius Absalom, the big rich person. But you can't hear what they're saying, but when they see you approaching, they suddenly stop what they're saying.
Oh, well, in that case, I say, I don't mean to interrupt you. Please carry on.
And that is a clue, that's listed as a clue, by the way. Oh no, sorry, this is just admin stuff. Sorry, yes. What can I do for you? Are the police on their way?
The police are on their way, yes, as is their doctor, because they use as a coroner because they could not organise that themselves. But I couldn't help notice that this had been left out. This seems new and interesting work, Dr. Burko.
Oh, this is young Gedger's dissertation, isn't it? Where did you find it?
It was just left out on a desk.
Oh, yes. He'd given it to me to look over. Very, very interesting research he has there.
But this is all new stuff, thanks to you. It's not something you've come across before.
This is the first really I've heard of it. Edgar's really did some good work on this. I don't know where he discovered this, where he dug this up. This Hale Willoughby. I don't know where he found him from. I know the name, of course. He was one of the crewmen of the Deep Reaver, but Didn't know there was any records of what happened to him afterwards.
And this book, this red notebook, this was new to him as well. Do you know where he got it from?
That, I believe, that's one of ours at the college, the Maritime History in the college. As far as I'm aware, it's just notes of their whaling, where they were, where they'd been, what whales they caught.
And no one had found anything interesting in this black obelisk before.
Black obelisk?
I show her the section in the book that talks about this obelisk that they found on its final voyage.
I did see that, but I thought it was just some rock that they found. You know what sailors are like when they've been out on the water for a long time.
I understand that, but it doesn't sound like they'd been out for a long time. I'm surprised it didn't pique your professional curiosity more, that's all.
Make me meddling with reason. Meddling with presence, please. Presence.
5.
Oof.
I'm gonna push it again.
5 has come up a lot tonight. So many rolls have been 5 tonight.
I say the dice haven't been kind.
Squid crown.
No, flashback showing how you were an imperfect sister or daughter, showing being a disappointment because I wanted to work in the library rather than my mother having something much more impressive planned out for me.
Assassin.
Yeah, assassin. That is exactly what she had set out from family trade up until now.
You study her face as you're saying this. She definitely knows more than she's letting on. She definitely knows something about this, but she's trying to cover it up.
Dr. Burko, I think you know more about this than you are telling me. It would certainly explain if there was something interesting here, something that would have kept someone with your academic qualifications in this position for so long. What is it that you are afraid of?
No, I'm afraid. What are you talking about? You know me. What could I possibly be afraid of?
You have not been yourself this evening. I know you are not the most sociable of people, but the Dr. Burko I know knows how to play the game and how to play the system. And you don't seem to be doing that this evening. And it must be quite a threat for you to have someone come up with such interesting work themselves.
I think this is something we probably need to discuss at a later time. Not here.
Well, I feel it could be relevant given that young Master Edgar has just appeared deceased.
Yes, but this is not the time and place for such a discussion. Please.
Well, we can go somewhere more private if you'd prefer. There doesn't seem to be a lot happening. It will take the police some time to get here.
You got the minimum level of success, but that means she won't budge from her position.
Oh. I look forward to picking up this conversation again in the future with you, Dr. Burkrow.
Of course.
I go back and tell everyone else that she knows something.
Yep, that's cool. So, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're on 10 clues.
Should we have a crack at solving this?
Aye.
Do you want me to read off the clues that you've got?
Yes,
I'm
please.
still tempted to suggest that Livia settle down to something cozy. Like, well, if you won't take her apologies, you well, I don't know. But
She's drinking?
is that a cozy move, though?
If you wanted to be cozy, if you're suggesting a cozy move between Myrtle and Livia, that would clear Livia's headache.
Oh.
Yeah, and give us another clue.
It gives you a clue if it's your cozy activity.
Okay. Myrtle, get this right. Do you know who got the first pineapple in England?
I don't think I recall.
Oliver Cromwell.
Oh,
He was Lord Protector. The first pineapple was brought to him, and he was very impressed. And
Oh.
that's some of my knowledge of the English Civil War and the, the protectorate that followed it,
Oh.
which is, I believe, English Civil War is connected to my cozy activity.
Yep. So you can cross out your headache. That's a good.
Okay. Mm.
But you can also realize a clue, and you get to say what that clue is.
Oh, and just like come up with it.
Yeah, you can. As you're talking to Myrtle about the Civil War, about pineapples, I don't know if something in that triggers a neuron in your brain that you suddenly realize something.
Well, that's just reminded me that Oliver Cromwell was considering going to America before he got involved in the Civil War, and as such was very concerned about the possibility of running into whales in the sea journey, and that's reminded me that that the Edgar's sister looks like her tears are fake. Yes.
Okay. You can't really point to a specific person with it though. That's the thing.
Okay.
You can't. It can't solve the mystery.
Okay.
It's another tool for the theorizing, I suppose is one way to look at it.
Yes,
Yeah.
I see. Yes.
Something about that harpoon, maybe?
The harpoon.
Yeah, like where was it hanging above? How did someone get it down? Oh, I don't know.
The harpoon was not one of the replicas, not from the gift shop, but like the museum quality replica, but an actual 18th century harpoon, which is weird.
Huh.
So, what's the clue?
That someone had access to an ancient harpoon. Say ancient, 200 years old harpoon. And who might that be?
The harpoon was there on the wall. Yeah.
And that it's in functional order, presumably. Like, if something's been sitting there for 100 odd years in a museum, it wouldn't necessarily still work.
The harpoon readily available. Yep. That's your 11th clue.
Now, should we put our heads together and...
So, clues you have, just to make sure. Right? Got the footprint from the shoe, the unique footprint from the shoe. You've got the shoes you found which match that footprint with the black fabric on them that Birdie found. Dr. Burko and Cornelius, they stopped talking to each other when Rose approached. The broken keychain wedged under the chair in the auditorium. Dr. Burko's email to some sort of rival. Financial reports in the chest. The carpet, the indent in the carpet, as though something had been dropped on it quite heavily. Edgar's thesis, which had been noted and added to by somebody else. Disposable gloves in the gift shop with blood on them. Empty shelf in the gift shop with the letter openers missing. and a harpoon that is readily available in one of the rooms. The more clues you can work into the theory, the better your chance of succeeding.
Okay. Now, I had this idea right at the beginning when these creepy cousin twin people rocked up. They are descendants of the Reaver crew, but also descendants of the weird whale creature monster thing.
But
Ooh.
we're already getting shadow over Innsmouth.
Because they're creepy as anything. And I think the one sibling, one weird cousin, twin, clone, whatever, kill the other one, not out of anger or murder, but as part of some weird sacrifice, echoing this other fella who killed all these people. Now, no, that's not all the clues, but I'm sure we can work.
Well, I think Dr. Burkrow could be working with them. So possibly he's come up with all this new research and possibly trying to replicate something. So that would give them access to the harpoon. It would give them access to rooms. It would give them access to letter openers that look like could be used as a harpoon, I suppose. But it would also then give her some professional clout. So she's bragging that there's this new research that has come out to another colleague. It could possibly save the museum from financial disrepute because they're losing all that money.
So are you saying she's trying to claim it as her own research?
Potentially, yeah. But, well, no, not really. That she's still happy to support them, but she'd be named on it and it could save the museum and it's further historical research trying to reenact this murder gone wrong type thing.
I think it might have been Cornelius. Like, Cornelius is flashing all this money, but knows exactly where it's going, to the cult. And Cornelius is part of the cult, and so and Edgar's research was drudging up more of the cult's history. So Cornelius could conceal that, and so murdered Edgar before Edgar's research could be made public and come to fruition.
I'm sure, because it was mentioned about disposable gloves, there was stretch for a bigger hand. I think Cornelius has very big hands.
Yeah.
The harpoon room.
Grimshaw room.
The little
Secret door.
thoughts.
Grimshaw.
The land animals. Robes.
Robes.
Financial records.
Mask.
Well, I thought because he was part of the cult. That's why I was going with that, but
I mean, maybe that room is over the ground where that old farm was that crazy ancestor. I really like the idea that they're descendants from the crew.
Maybe the Edgar found the I don't know why the financial records would be in there as well, but with my idea. But I guess one thought I had is that maybe Edgar was going to do a trade or something, or maybe was going to get maybe Edgar thought he was going to get more help with his research, and he found these old clothes and masks and just just some straight and he didn't know what it, I don't know. Maybe he didn't know what it was, maybe he didn't, but that doesn't matter. You've seen the robes, you're a bit too close, you're dredging up stuff. Yep. But Livia could fall close enough to interrupt the getaway with the cloak and mask.
See, it's like, we seem to be heading in the direction away from everyday crime and into like
Cult crime.
yeah.
Yeah, more.
Right. Burko said she didn't know anything about some obelisk or it wasn't important. Has Edgar and Audrey, because I'm assuming it's co-written because there was different, right? No,
I thought the different. I mean, I see the different hands were like Burko, since Burko said that she'd been given it to look over, but maybe you're right.
No, I mean that makes
But there was 2 lots of handwriting on it. It would be. Would it be weird?
Well, did he
He was handwriting notes on the side of it when he could print it, potentially.
Well, if you printed it, I could see someone making handwritten notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, highlighter and whatnot.
Maybe it was very first draft though, and he was writing it as at the museum.
True.
What if, right? It's proper like your old Scooby-Doo, right? Where I like the idea that where this museum is to do with that shack, right? And they found that out, and they want to make it like whoever the cult is, and they want to do like a culty thing here.
A ritual.
But the museum's here, so how do you get rid of the museum? Right? You siphon off money out of the museum, so it has to close. In comes Absalom, says, "Oh well, I'll take over the land, and now we can build our weird whale monster cult church sacrifice site."
I mean, all the money going from the bank account could have been paying off the cult, and they've started making
more demands,
bigger demands.
Like part of me starts imagining, like, ooh, maybe adding a secret basement, a secret cellar for the ritual. It's like a bit sneakier than Bulldow's Museum and added a church. Underground secret temple.
I was thinking, yeah, like they might be just like, I'm building a warehouse.
I mean, like, there's already this weird secret curtain door. It's like, that what's going on with that?
Guys, well, it was weird.
Can't trust a shareholder.
Right.
Okay.
I'm not getting many of these clues in.
Yeah, the broken keychain. I mean, like maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, like
Keys by that one.
Like maybe the broken keychain had the keys for the doors for the scrimshaw room. I don't. Yeah. Maybe it can be locked from the inside. I don't. Okay. Maybe. Whilst Livia was there, so like Cornelius or whoever it was shut the door and locked it, and then got around to hit you, and then unlocked it to
leave again.
Well, either that or they used the secret door and then locked that behind them. But so, like, at some point they passed through the auditorium and dropped the keychain there.
I mean, I feel if we're going with that, there's something culty with it. The boots and the black fabric of it's easy enough
for the cult robes.
To explain away, it's whoever was wearing it was wearing these robes and then went and took them off.
You can see that Dr. Burko's email could have been towards Cornelius.
Oh, there's the professor, isn't there? Professor Swartz, who's the
that was totally ignored.
The maritime historian professor, yes.
He could be a person who Burko would be like, angry at as a sort of colleague.
Mm-hmm.
So a red herring. Okay. What about the indent in the carpet where the box fell?
Something heavy.
Yeah, it was the cabinet of the
Yeah.
land animals.
What about when Edgar was attacked? There was a bit of a scuffle before he got shot with the harpoon, and it got knocked off.
But why was it moved afterwards?
I think I can help here. I probably didn't make it clear at the time. From what you saw, Olivia, the display case would be sitting on the trunk.
Oh, right. So it was to try shut the trunk again? I don't know.
So it was like hiding the trunk. No.
It was on the trunk.
Yes.
The trunk was being used to for the cabinet, to put the cabinet on.
Right.
Wait, so was the cabinet? So the cabinet was on top of the trunk when it fell off? I don't have a clear mental image now. Like,
If you were looking for the robes or something, you'd have to move the cabinet.
okay, so the cabinet was on top of the trunk when you got there. Okay.
No, the cabinet was on the floor when Olivia got there.
Oh, okay. I got you. I got
Okay.
you.
Right. So Edgar, right? He's the victim in this.
Yes.
Was he research? Is he a perfectly nice, if weird, lad who was doing some very good research and stumbled onto things he shouldn't have stumbled onto and was killed?
Mm-hmm.
Or is he in the cult?
I mean, I think he was considered a threat to the cult, and that's why he was killed.
That's where I'm veering.
Okay.
And I was going to say he thought he could help the museum get out of the financial debt, maybe, with his new research.
Oh, but that was then actually going to cause more problems
For the
Mhm.
cult.
than it solved.
Why do I find myself thinking that maybe Edgar just like
Hmm.
had the letter openers, but did not account for the harpoon, which had been prepared for that. I don't know.
We didn't look much at his body, did we?
No, but I think, well, Robin had a try, and I think it's also with, like, harpoon doesn't, to me, leave much room for anything else, really.
I'm just trying. It was just a stray idea of how to account for the missing letter openers clue.
Jeff, you've bedeviled us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, could and I'm just throwing something completely random out here, could the letter openers maybe have been used in some cult ritual?
I think
Mhm.
part of this is you don't have to explain why a clue is used in the theory, but you can if you try and explain it away why it's not important, that also counts.
Right.
You just have to account for it.
Okay, maybe there was a school trip recently, and everyone was super keen on the letter openers for some weird reason.
Everyone bought a letter opener this evening because they were half price.
There you are. That easy.
Well, I was
and
thinking
it's the sort of.
was
Sorry.
thinking, I'm a donator. I can take as many letter openers.
You did it.
Letters
Yeah,
openers.
Libby's already paid for them.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So we're thinking Edgar got too close to a weird thing
Mm-hmm.
and like the cult stuff, so someone killed him.
Yes. There was a bit of a struggle.
And it was a premeditated murder. That's why the harpoon was ready.
Mhm.
Why was Edgar in the scrimshaw room?
Because he thought he was going to. Well, I mean, the idea I had before was that maybe he'd found this robe and mask, and someone who said they'd be able to help with his research would said they'd offer him information in exchange for these artifacts. So
Someone said, "Come and meet me in that room so we can
Mhm.
discuss stuff." And then
Stopped him.
been a fight, and so who do we think did the killing.
Mm.
I want to go for Dr. Burkrow, partly because I've just taken against her for some reason.
I'm going for Cornelius.
I think that we were going to talk about arguments about research and who we would see in that room.
I would possibly say the Professor Schubert or whatever he was called.
Schwartz.
What? That's my own bad handwriting.
But I haven't even spoke to that guy, so like I don't know. I think Burko makes the most sense. And like, could the reason be that she's still there is because there was this, like, she's involved in a cult, so
Yeah, she's like the protector of the cult, and
that's more important than
yeah, it's like an affront, and that's why she stayed for so long. Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
So is Dr. Burko the only one guilty for this? So like, is everyone else present innocent of this murder at least? Tax dodging is a different issue.
Let's bring Absalom in because they were talking. You know,
Cornelius, right?
Yeah, we can bring in a new clue, like another clue to say like why were they talking? Is Cornelius like also?
He could be in the cult and is almost financial backing, and that's why he's such a big donor, is because he wants to keep the cult.
Yeah. So then she's saying, "Oh, I had to kill that Edgar guy."
Yeah, I've gone and taken him out.
Yeah. The shoes.
Oh, so we're going for Cornelius with the stretched gloves for did the murder itself, but conspired with Dr. Burko.
Well, I think Burko did the murder. But perhaps Cornelius helped, or was going to help get rid of the body, and that's when I arrived. So like, he put on some gloves because he's like, if I'm handling a dead body.
Well, there's nothing to say because we didn't see what size the gloves were. They could just be very, very small gloves, and the
yeah, they could be extra small.
I know that sounds daft, but like my latex gloves at work are tiny, and then everyone else stretches them out because I'm a bossy cow. So like, it is possible that then a normal sized person with normal sized hands stretches them out.
I think they had some of these gloves for when there's school field trips and they do some pretendy excavation.
Oh yeah, where they get to wear gloves to like be archaeologists, and
that was the only ones on hand. So they were like, right, I'll wear these. Burko was thinking, and I'll have to stretch them out a bit. Stab him with one of my harpoons I have because I'm a maritime historian. We've all got them lying around. So that seems the way we're going. And the money? Anything to do with the money?
I mean, I thought that was because
while we're on that train of thought, before we move on to the money, we've still got like the footprint and the shoe, and my thought would be like that would have been the escape route they took when Livia entered.
Yeah, they went out the door,
yeah,
and at some point they went through the auditorium as well, given the keys.
Yeah, went through the auditorium, went to the toilets, took their things off, caught their robes a bit.
And who did? Okay, I don't know if we should do this before the thing, but who was Dr. Burko emailing?
I think we were talking about being the professor because that would be the sort of colleague, but I don't know, maybe like
that doesn't work quite so well though if we're trying to keep the cult hidden up. Maybe it's someone else in the cult, or even Cornelius to say.
It can be a red herring. It could be unrelated to the case.
Yeah.
Maybe it could even just be look at what a good fundraiser we had this evening.
Eat that.
the email you said was like aggressive, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it imply it was to a colleague, or could it have been a friend, or
someone she didn't like very much, or someone she was in competition against, someone she was trying to win against, or someone she's like trying to one-upmanship. Yeah.
Who is a maritime historian of the 16th century, and they are locked in a deadly academic feud.
mean, I can get that. So, like, since like Burko is overqualified for the job, but Swart seems to be well suited for his job, and they're both academics in the field.
So I was thinking like the email is just a red herring of Burko, as well as being concerned about occult business, is having this rivalry with her sister, maritime historian, who has like a show on ITV documentary about boats.
Yeah, I quite like that.
Yeah, and it's just you're on television, but I'm doing proper whaling research.
And look at my small independent museum that I'm supporting.
That isn't a cult.
That isn't a cult. Yeah.
Okay. So we come to a final decision.
So Burko murdered Edgar by Edgar's research was this is getting too close to the cult stuff. So she was like, let's come have a chat in the scrimshaw room. It's like those gardens in Game of Thrones where everyone plots. And then there used her harpoon to stab Burko, then wearing the stretched out rubber gloves that were for children to pretend to be archaeologists to, hide her fingerprints and the blood stuff. Whilst they were fighting, the cabinet got knocked over, and so it's just a coincidence there was stuff in there and in the trunk, which Burko, when she realized Livy had seen it, was like, oh, I'm gonna have to hide that. That's gonna raise some questions. Hit me, locked one door, went out the secret door, ran round
With the special shoes.
with the special shoes, which she realized were very distinctive. And they're the cult shoes. I don't know why they have specific shoes, but they do. And in a hurry to disguise her various things, ripped off some clothing under the shoe, and cut through the auditorium, because I'm sure that
Dropping keyring, yeah.
the keyring. Yeah, it's
To disguise where she came from, perhaps.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the letter openers are dismissed by it being like that they've just all been bought by rich people today, just like as a half price.
And Cornelius is the money behind the museum and the cult.
And that's part of the thing that's why they were having a secret conversation, and also why there's weird financial stuffs.
Yes.
Or when you're about to say something?
Doesn't matter. Stanza's covered what I was going to say, so.
Okay. It all sounds good. You've accounted for everything. So one of you, please make me the 2d6 plus 11 minus 7. 2d6 plus 4, please.
Ooh, very good.
Who
I
wants
was
to?
going to say, I've been rolling terribly tonight, so I'll let someone else do it.
I'm not sure how confident I am in my dice, but
I'm happy rolling.
I've got my dice out. What a time to roll 2 6s.
Oh, brilliant.
Hey!
That's the one you wanted. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So you're very, very confident you've hit upon the right answer, and it's about this time that Sergeant Cooper arrives, and she's probably in her mid-20s. You've read Thursday Murder Club.
Mm-hmm.
If you think Donna in the Thursday Murder Club is that sort of is like the same sort of person. And she comes in like with a couple of constables, and you're able to point her to Dr. Catherine Burko. And are you fingering Cornelius Absalom as well?
As a co-conspirator.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Or accessory, whatever. He's part of it.
They are both taken away, arrested, taken away. Dr. Burko is still somewhat anxious. And as she passes you, Rose, Dr. Burko says to you, when she hears about this, she won't be happy. You just watch your back.
I always do, my dear.
And yeah, that is where the mystery ends. They are taken away. But you are
That was
still
a 12
left with.
plus, right?
That was a 12 plus, yep. But I think you've already revealed 2 of the people in the cult, so I can't really reveal
Fair
another.
enough.
Confirmation that she was in the cult, I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is where this mystery ends, and you are somewhat left with more questions than answers.
Hooray!
And we will pick this up. The next date for the next episode of Brindlewood Bay is in 2 weeks' time, on the 21st of March.
Woohoo.
Do we need to go through our things at the end?
Yep, questions, stars, wishes,
yeah.
all that good stuff. So we'll do the questions first. How did people do with their questions, their experience points?
We solved the mystery.
We did.
Yep.
Yeah. I like to think that I secretly and not so secretly undermine the authority of a local official.
Sergeant Cooper, yep.
Yeah. And does like putting Livia in the recovery position and trying to sort her out and stuff, does that count as doting on someone?
I think so, yeah. I don't think that's the sort of thing Livia would normally accept from anybody.
Absolutely.
I was going to say, did I behave like a woman half my age? I would say yes when I was messing about with the exhibits at the beginning.
Such a child,
I
yep.
thought crashing through the door.
And crashing through the door.
Yeah, I was going to say crashing through the door, saying, did I show someone I've still got it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I did share a memory of a late family member because that's dead.
Yep.
Obviously.
Yep. And
Wait, who's dead?
my niece. Who
Everybody.
Oh.
Everybody in Livia's family is dead.
Yeah, everyone. Yeah. And did I secretly undermine authority of a local official? I tried to, as standard. I don't think I actually had a chance to. I was annoyed with some young people.
I mean, you were fairly dismissive of the whole museum thing.
That is true.
Does that
and my herbal concoction.
Yes,
Yeah,
I was.
I'll give you that.
I was
Yeah.
horrible too. Okay.
And Stanza, how did you get on with yours?
I think I was like I tried to make sure Audrey. I tried to comfort Audrey. I think that counts as doting.
Yep.
But I don't think I did anything like a woman half my age particularly. So.
Okay.
That still fills up my XP track.
Yay! You can take your improvements.
I'm probably just going to improve presence because it keeps coming up.
It is one of the common ones, yeah.
Point in presence.
You can only increase it once, can't you? You can't take it a second.
Yeah, you can increase it. I think you can increase it up to 3, if I remember rightly. Yeah.
So can I just keep taking that one to increase my presence now up to 2?
As long as you got the options available for it, yes, you can. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Can you choose another Maven move? It seems to suggest you can't.
If you take the option, you can take the option to choose another Maven move. Yes. Yeah. As long as you haven't already ticked off that option.
That was what I was meaning. Right. Okay.
The advancements. There's 2 for.
For the advancement, there's 2 options to increase abilities, 2 options to get additional Maven moves, and 1 option to regain an item from your cozy place, which none of you have actually used at all.
No, I did bring mine in this time.
I was tempted to bring in this stuffed shark wall hanging because it was fitting, but not what it would be used for.
I used the frying pan for something last time, so I've got that ticked off.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Can't remember what, but.
So you can just use your items from your cozy little place to just help with something? Or...
Yeah, if they're relevant, they give you advantage. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Need to remember that.
So, should we move to our stars and wishes?
Mm-hmm.
Start with Stanza. Stars and wishes. You.
Finding the old stuff and hearing about the obelisk. This is just until like theorizing. I really enjoyed this session. Rest
Wishes
this week has a lot to live up to.
and your wishes.
I don't know. I
Occult
kind
stuff.
of, I admit when you asked Robin about what was weird about these sculptures, I was kind of hoping to like, are they oily? Are they weird and spooky? And then land animals.
And
was
animals.
Like, oh, I am disappointed.
The first thing that came to mind that would be
Whatever.
place.
Robin.
I like the bickering between Rose and Livia about the key and the door being locked.
Yeah, sorry, carry on. I interrupted.
And I think I wish I knew what I was going to pick for my next advancement.
Well, you have a couple of weeks to figure that out.
Got some time, yep. Sarah.
I very much enjoyed that it's getting more challenging to try and work things together. Like, it was a bit of work to try and fit all of that together, but it was really good fun. I wish for more cults in it. I love having a bit of culty stuff going on. That's fun.
Well, I think the
Secret
deeper,
societies. Yeah.
well, I think the deeper we go, the more we see.
Richard.
I liked that there was some violence directed some of the player characters. I thought that was quite an interesting turn. I know I sort of made that happen by saying, "Oh, I'm not really thinking it through." The murderer's in the room.
Everyone needs to be more careful with their night moves.
And
But then you're not getting the fun of the risk.
Well, you still get a risk, but it's a little smaller.
Sorry, Richard.
I think I want is chance for revenge. I know we've sent them to prison, but that's not enough. It's like at the whole cult, I need to attack someone. Absolutely attack someone on my behalf. But,
So is it Rose or Birdie you're hiring as a hit person?
the neither.
It's Philippe! It's Philippe all along!
Well, you know, she knows people.
I mean, I'm not being funny. Is it not just Philippe work?
Well, Philippe
does everything.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this whole theorized thing because I did try and nudge you in a certain direction, but to be honest, you didn't go in that direction. You didn't pick up what I was putting down. Because my own pet theory was that Edgar was searching for something. He had taken off the cabinet himself and was going to investigate the trunk when he got killed.
Oh.
Oh, I didn't even consider that.
But that's you guys came up with a better option.
Even though, like, this didn't come into our theory, those cousins are definitely weird, creepy, weirdos.
I like them.
And wishes. Yeah, I like that we got to use a bit more like the conditions came in a bit more tonight. Like headache would affect quite a lot of stuff.
We actually used a cozy move.
Yep. Wishes. Probably use the cozy place items more to give yourself advantage in certain situations.
I think I said I had like Civil War weapons. So
There's cozy activity, but your cozy place is like items you have with you or you have available to you that you can use in situations to give yourself advantage.
Stop shock hanging just somewhere.
It's my thing that like I'm quite proud of myself for using 2 crowns tonight because I'm like, oh, I'll leave my cozy activities and cozy places and things until I really need them.
Yeah.
That seems a bit.
An idea for what I'm going to use my cleaning supplies for if it ever comes up. Squirting people in the face.
Of course you are.
I found them in my notes of what I had for my cozy items.
All rich house stuff.
Yeah, your place is not cozy. It's
Philippe is in your cozy place.
Yeah, mother's wedding ring, saddle and bridle, weapons and armor of the 17th century, little black book with important contacts.
Oh yes.
Glass elevator, rich penthouse, that sort of thing. So, with that,
Hmm.
it only remains for me to move to the credit screen and to say thank you all very much, chat, for watching us this evening. I had a great time tonight. I guess you guys did as well. Coming up, we have the no. Before I say that, I should say that if you haven't done so already, please do drop us a follow. It's a completely free way to support us. Great way to see when we go live. If you have Twitch Prime, you can get a free monthly subscription for 1 month to a stream of your choice. We'd like it to be us, but give it to someone you think deserves it. We have a YouTube channel where you'll be able to watch this and replays of all of our shows. We have a Discord where you can join in and talk about this or any of our other games or anything that takes your fancy. All of these and more can be found on our website, finalbossfight.co.uk. Coming up, we have the following streams. On tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock, Ben the Quest Giver will be playing Sky in a stream he calls Take to the Sky. So I can think of a few people will be interested in that. So go join Ben the Quest Giver for that. On Thursday, Angel Games Player will be playing Genshin Impact, because that's what they do. They play lots of Genshin Impact. On Friday, I'll be returning to the next part of Deliver Us Mars, where things have taken somewhat of a strange turn, as I've now found this strange big green glowy machine, and obviously need to try and find out what it does and whether it's anything to do with the previous colony's disappearance. On Sunday, John will be back in the DM's chair with Dungeon of the Mad Mage as the party continues exploring wherever they're exploring. I'm not sure what they're up to at the moment, but I think there's some inter-party drama happening, so that'd be good to see that. Next Monday, the 13th of March, Angel Games Play will be back with Genshin Impact. Let's say they'll be yelling at monsters in Genshin, so that'd be quite interesting to see. And next Monday also, we'll be playing Monster Prom 2, Monster Camp. So tune in for that. And I believe next Tuesday, I'm not quite sure what's happening. I don't think there's any stream next Tuesday, but do stay tuned for whatever happens. With that, let's see who is live. Give it to Zombie Workshop, who is playing Batman Arkham Origins. There we go. So jump in for that. Let's go and say hello to Zombie Workshop. We'll see you guys very, very soon. Good night, guys. Thanks for watching.
Good night.
Good night.
Night. Trade is away.